Hi, no introduction. You know what we're doing. We're going to start from the bottom. F tier for you know what. The first thing that comes up here that I'm going to have to put onto F tier. First, let's qualify TikTok. Now, the thing about TikTok is I will admit that TikTok is very different outside of America. It's better outside of America. The content is less targeted brain rot. And if you don't know this, you know, the Chinese Communist Party is actually in control of TikTok and ByteDance and what they are doing, and they export their goals onto specifically the American population. And for that, I want to put the American version of TikTok into the fuck this tier, especially when you consider that the content itself is it's people saying skits to themselves. They'll be like, hey, I'm person number one. Hey, I'm person number two. And it's just like, we don't want to see that. If you like seeing that, I have nothing in common with you. I might be willing to put TikTok in the D tier for the Japan version, for the Chinese version, just for the rest of the world that's getting normal TikTok. But you're probably watching this in America, so I'm going to go ahead and put American TikTok in F tier. Now this one right here, I'm just going to point this out really quick and not mention it again. This one right here, nobody knows what this is. Nobody cares what this is. If you know what this is, comment below. And yeah, I mean, let me know. Pinterest. I'm going to have to put this in F tier. It's better than TikTok. A useless app like Pinterest that nobody uses, except for, I don't know, moms that like to look at images that they could just find on other social media sites or Google Images, is better than TikTok. I guess that people could use it to, I don't know, like, to get collections of images really quickly, to search for a certain kind of image. Like, it's just Google Images, but with an extra step that you don't need. So, I don't hate it, it's just useless. What else comes in F tier? This one. This is Snapchat, right? It's just a little ghost guy. Snapchat is worse than TikTok because at least TikTok has some functionality, and there is a redeeming factor of, you know, in Japan, I see people using TikTok and it's normal. People are just showing recipes and how stuff is made in factories and stuff, and it's like, okay, you know, it's TV on the go. It's not weird like that. But Pinterest, sorry, this isn't Pinterest. This is Snapchat is literally just sending dick pics. Like, I'm sorry if you use it for something else. This is basically just a formalized app version of chat roulette, but for people that you have already added. So, very sus if you have this on your phone. I don't really want to talk to you. Google Plus. Google Plus is in that useless category, but useless. There's nobody that uses Google Plus. If you're using Google Plus, I don't know what it's for. I just know that it bombed and it's not necessary in this world. Nobody needs it. Kik. Kik is going to be pretty much even more useless than that. It doesn't have the name brand recognition of Google where it's like, okay, I'm sure that Google Plus for a week in its existence might have been used by a few people to do something useful, but Kik, it's nothing. You just send photos to people. Like, I had it once. Somebody was like, add me on Kik so we can flirt, whatever. Back when I used dating apps, and I'm like, girl, I don't think I can continue a relationship on Kik. Like, hit me up anywhere but this. Okay, Instagram. Instagram is worse than TikTok, but better than Google Plus, because the thing about Instagram is, like, it does have kind of like, it's the successor to Facebook. It's owned by Facebook, Meta, and it's a place where you're posting videos and images that can attract engagement, but the nature of that engagement is always thirst trapping. It's always, hey, look at the good life that I curate for you to see, then I don't show you the parts of my life that aren't so great so you can feel lesser to me. Like, everybody knows that's what Instagram is. It's It doesn't facilitate communication between people. It doesn't facilitate your interests. It's literally just vanity. That's an alarm that I have for something that I'm not going to mention. It's literally, I have an alarm that I use to go and do a thing on a Discord server, which we'll talk about Discord later. If you're watching this from Watercord, that's the midnight Minimi alarm. And I said I wouldn't mention it. But, yeah. So, I think that's it for the F tier. And this because nobody knows what this is. This is the worst. I don't know what you are. Nobody knows what you are, and you suck. Actually, here. D tier. N-shitified, or has always been bad. Either way, don't waste time here unless you have to. Twitter. Immediately, Twitter comes to mind. I know that some people think that you could call it X now, but let's not get this mistaken. This right here is a bird, and the bird tweets because it's Twitter, okay? If you're calling it X, I don't trust you, and don't talk to me, okay? I don't think there's any explanation needed ever since that man baby bought this website. If you or I could lose, what, like $50 billion on a stupid purchase and still be the richest person in the world, like, you would be rightfully hated for that. Like, biggest L that has happened in the 2020s. Like, I can't think of a more embarrassing thing that anybody's done. Like, I know there's that whole thing with that rapper right now, because every few years there's a rapper that gets busted on some allegations, right? But that's not as embarrassing as this, okay? Muskman buying the Bird app and shitifying it. I don't have to tell you how. We all know what's gone on here. I would have at least put Twitter at C tier before, but it's dropped tier for sure. It still has some use because there's some people that only really use this one. So the unless you have to means if the only way to talk to somebody or engage with a certain community is through Twitter, which, you know, this is what I use to engage with my my friends that play Super Smash Bros. In Japan. They're all on Twitter. They're not using Discord. They're not using, like, Americans use Discord for Smash Bros. or Facebook, really. But the Japanese Smash players are on Twitter. That's just what. So if I want to ask what time to show up for a tournament, I have to use Twitter. That's the only. I'll post my stuff on there, but, you know, the reason why I hate it now is because it literally, the algorithm forces engagement onto people that have paid for these premium layers on it. I think there's like 2 levels of premium on it. There used to be just 1. There used to be just 0 before that. And that's what we're talking about with N-shitification. You either pay for the service or you literally don't get engagement. It's not a meritocracy up on Twitter anymore. D tier. The next thing that I'm going to have to put onto D tier is Reddit. Now, is Reddit better or worse than Twitter? I actually think that Reddit's better than Twitter. And I'll tell you why Reddit's better than Twitter. It's not better because the people are better. Actually, the people on Twitter aren't as bad as the people on Reddit. For some reason, Reddit brings out the worst in people, but there's something that Reddit has that Twitter doesn't. It's free. Like, you can spend money on the karma points if you're weird. I think you can pay for karma points. But what Reddit does do is give you content. I know most of it is reposted memes where somebody just, you know, captions a meme format and posts it onto, like, some political stuff. It's like, here I'm Bernie Sanders once again asking you to vote for the Democrat that will change fundamentally nothing. Like, I'm sure that there's a post right now that's exactly like that. Bernie Sanders being like, I'm now asking you to vote for Kamala Harris, even though she sucks. It's like, okay, all right, I know what you're posting on it. I don't even have to open the app to know what they're posting. But there is still that 10% of the Reddit posts that get made that are content. Like, people have been saying that if you want to find something on Google now, then you have to add Reddit at the end. And that's kind of true, because if you want to actually see discussion about something, the only way to find humans that discuss things, and it's not all humans, a lot of it is bots, but the only place left on the internet where you can find, like, you can search for human discussion about something that has occurred in the past or currently occurring, it's on Reddit. You have to add the Reddit to the Google search. So just because that, it's at the top of the D tier, because the reason why I'll put it below C right now is because in spite of those two benefits, actual human discussion and some amount of content, the problem with Reddit is that everybody on there is actually an asshole, conservative. Like, I know there's a lot of people that are of every political whatever, but usually people that comment on Reddit are there to tell you why, you know, you're stupid and everything is your fault. If you ask for advice on something on Reddit, it's like, hey, like, I have this problem, like, what were you guys doing in this situation? They'd be like, try not being poor, or something like that. Like, that's Reddit for you. It's literally just the worst scum of the internet comment there. And just for that alone, I'll put it at the top of the D tier and no higher. Speaking of D tier, I believe that's actually it. You know what? D tier will also have to include, no. You know what? No. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to C tier. This is the current score for this. C tier, average social media, low expectations met. Okay? Immediately, 4chan. So, here's the thing about 4chan. I hate it. I personally hate 4chan. But what I don't hate is that it's the only social media on this list that is built around the weeb culture, you know, the appreciation of Japanese culture. And it has a lot of cred as being one of the early internet things, the early internet phenomenons that hasn't actually really changed as far as I know from the old days. So I don't like it. I don't like the way it works. But I often do see posts from 4chan, or I'll hear stuff about specifically 4chan members doing something in the real world, like 4chan members track down a drug kingpin and get him busted. And I'm like, Redditors didn't do that. Twitter users didn't do that. TikTokers didn't do that. 4chaners did that. So just because like 4chaners have the capability of doing things in real life, they're basically like where Anonymous is from. And while I don't think Anonymous is like a serious organization, obviously it's not organized. Like, it's just people doing stuff and they post on 4chan. Just for that, and it's credited as an old relic of the internet. In spite of that, I don't use it and I don't like looking at it. It's just really a bad web design. It is average social media and my low expectations are met. Speaking of average social media with low expectations met, we have to be honest here. Now, I love Tumblr. Tumblr is the other side of the coin where I love Tumblr. I've always loved Tumblr. However, I don't love the people that are using Tumblr for how few of them are left. I'm sure you all know about the exodus of Tumblr, which happened for a stupid reason. I don't really understand why people are like, oh, there's restrictions on pornography on the website now, so let's all bail. Like really? That's why you're using Tumblr? I first started using Tumblr so I could blog with my high school friends that were also on Tumblr, but once I was just apart from all those people, I got done using it because Tumblr was like the best way to give yourself a feed of content that you wanted to see and you could share for later, referring to. It had some potential for, posting your own things, mostly for posting if you want to have like visual art. People would, you would get a lot of engagement if you were making visual content on Tumblr, which I wasn't when I was using it, but if you were an artist, I wouldn't have been using DeviantArt 5 to 10 years ago. I would have been using Tumblr if I wanted people to see my artwork. It would have been Tumblr. That would have been that and Twitter would have been the only way that I would be like, okay, like let's try to make a business out of drawing using Tumblr. Average social media, low expectations met. 100% is Facebook. 100% is Facebook. And obviously, Facebook is useful. It does have use for when you need to contact like organizations that operate like a Facebook page and that responds quicker than something. Like, that's not a usual situation, but what I'm normally using it for now is connecting with groups that are specifically for foreigners in Japan. It has been really good. Like, I found work on Facebook. I never found a job on Tumblr or any of these other websites, but Facebook, I've taken a paycheck or two or several thanks to Facebook, and that alone makes it indisputably one of the better social medias. And you see here, it's right in the middle of the list. There's only 5 left, so it's clearly in the top 10. That being said, it is a dull, lifeless yellow pages of the internet, and I know that nobody's really a fan of Mark Zuckerberg. He's definitely like, he's a robot, a lizard or something. Like, I don't like him. I don't know anybody who does like him. But if I had to toss up between him and the Birdman owner guy, like, I'd pick Mark Zuckerberg. Like, if they're gonna get into a fight, I'm rooting for the Zuck. That's just me. That doesn't mean I like him. I just dislike him less. And this is actually going to go ahead and be, the best, the rest of the C tier. Gives you what you want, but also gives you what you don't want. And that's Messenger. Okay, here's the problem with Messenger. This is really a problem with Facebook and Meta in general. I blew up on Facebook in 2020. I started to get popular on there, which has since, just kind of like doled out. Like Facebook is either feast or famine with engagement. In 2020, I had the feast of engagement. I was getting like 100 likes on every selfie, and I'm not attractive. Like, I would just post a photo of myself like this, and there'd be like 100 likes, and people from all over the world be like, "I love you. You're so beautiful." That was weird, but I didn't mind it when it was just comments on photos on Facebook. I was like, okay, people are telling me that they think I'm beautiful. That's fine. The problem is, they would also go onto Messenger and send me dick pics. Like hundreds of people sending me dick pics and proposing to me on Facebook. And no, they're not bots. They're just from weird parts of the world where they don't have restraint about that kind of thing. And that keeps Messenger from being A tier, and also the fact that nobody uses it because Meta is trash. Like, it's enshittified, just not as obviously as all this, except for Instagram. But it does give you what you want. If there's somebody that you are contacting on Messenger that actually is on it, they're gonna respond to you within a day or at most a week. And it is a good kind of legacy replacement to AOL Instant Messenger, that's the OG. If you remember, you remember. Although not the best one. We'll get to the best one. Gives you what you want, but also gives you what you don't want. Pretty much only one of these is gives you what you don't want. But, well, I'll tell you what you mean in a second. I'm gonna actually go ahead and add Skype here. Now, I know a lot of you don't really use Skype, but I still occasionally use it. There's 2 people that I contact on Skype. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with Skype. It's free. It gives you video and audio calls and the chat right there. Like, Skype is solid. And the only reason that I don't put it in A tier is because it's not used by anybody. Like, Skype back in the day, back when most of the people that you knew were using it, Skype would have been A tier. But right now, it's just good when it's used, which is rarely. And we'll have to go ahead and put Discord right here. Right here. See, Discord is currently, like I was saying about Messenger, it is the current equivalent of what AOL Instant Messenger was back in the day, and more. Discord is fantastic. there is a downside, but first I'll talk about what's great about Discord. Discord is great because it is the, not only is it the modern day equivalent of AIM, it is the modern day equivalent of internet forums. It's a hybrid between the two of those things. So we used to have internet forums where you would go through a list of different channels that cover different topics within a greater, you know, main topic that the forum covered, like gaming or anime or particular game or particular show, like, and you would go and you would post something like a thread, and over days, weeks, months, years, people would comment on that thread. Now those fell out of style because people want now. They want now, they want now, they want now. So Discord came and was like, let's do the same thing that forums did, except we'll connect an infinite number of forums, like as many different people can create their own forums as they want with all the different categories. And instead of having threads for a specific, like, you would create a thread that would say, hey, post pictures of your dogs and let's talk about dog pics. And it would just be all dog pics. Discord is like, no. We'll have the Discord server and then the channels within that, and each channel is just AIM. It's just as many people in the chat room as are in the server can images, links, emojis, stickers, like GIFs, everything. Just put it. You can even post audio on there, which is great. And the great thing about Discord also is that it gives you streaming. So you can go and enter a voice chat where you can stream. Like, I could share this screen right here and we could be doing this on Discord. I'm doing this for YouTube right now, and you're going to understand that in a quick second. But also gives you what you don't want. Here's what I don't like about Discord, and this is going to sound really silly. Obviously, I'm going to mention Discord Nitro. I don't like that Discord Nitro is doing a feature creep where they're increasingly, like, very slowly, like year by year, I'm noticing Discord's like, we're going to take something that you used to be able to do for free on Discord and make it Nitro only. They're doing it so slowly that I'm not even sure if it's happening, but I'm pretty sure that's their long-term game. Like in 10 years, Discord will have half the functionality that it does now, unless you pay for it. And that's enshittification in a way, but like, I can't blame them for doing that. But at the same time, like, you have a lot of money, and this has become a service that is crucial. Like, without Discord, society would not function right now. We need Discord. Like, we don't use Messenger. We can't run the internet on Messenger anymore. We can't run the internet on these other apps. Discord is currently what runs the internet. If you want to connect with a actual community, Discord is currently the only way to engage with a community that's like established, not just throwing your hat into the dark. It's all Discord. So the fact that they're not like a publicly owned company at this point is something that I personally regret. Like I would like it if they got absorbed to the public sector, because this is going to go south in a number of years. It's going to be enshittified real bad, and it's already begun that way. But here's my real grievance: why I'm not going to put Discord in A tier is because they recently have changed. Like, it would have been A tier if you asked me 3 months ago. Okay, something happened, and this is so goofy, but I promise you, this is real stuff for me. Discord went ahead and did this very subtle change where now, if you post a GIF on Discord, it converts it to an MP4 so that you can't download it and repost it as a GIF. Which means that if your friends are using a GIF and you guys are collecting your own GIFs, right? You can't collect GIFs on Discord anymore, because when you download it, it gives you an MP4. Huh? So when you go ahead and try to post that MP4 on Discord, what happens? It doesn't play. Like, you have to, nobody's gonna click on this little 2-second long thing. And they did that deliberately so that they could introduce the feature creep with Nitro and be like, so I noticed that you really like downloading GIFs off of Discord that download to your phone or computer as a GIF. Well, actually, you're gonna have to pay for that. Like that's so that grinds my gears. Discord, please bring back the GIFs. I even saw a meme that somebody made that was like, Discord trying not to convert your GIFs into MP4, and it was like SpongeBob's head exploding, and it's like, yeah, like, I'm glad somebody else notices that they're doing this, because that was a deliberate feature creep to reintroduce it as a paid Nitro feature, and frankly, I'm not a fan of that. I think that kind of broke my consumer trust in Discord. Just that, and the general trend of the Nitro feature creep that they're slowly doing. And that brings us to the app that you're watching this on right now. YouTube. YouTube is the best thing that we have on the internet right now. This is where I'm going to get serious for this video. YouTube is the best thing that we have as a tool for our civilization at this current moment. Okay? YouTube is the greatest invention in the world right now. It's the most important thing that we have as a species in order to communicate with one another. It's more important than calling somebody on a phone. It's more important than emailing somebody. Okay? YouTube is the most important thing that we have as a civilization right now. Not because it's so you can contact Amy at the office and be like, oh, can you send those TPS reports? Like, I'm not saying that phone calls and emails aren't important. I'm saying that YouTube is more important because YouTube is the last thing that exists on the internet that fulfills two purposes. Two extremely important purposes. And to be honest, I'm gonna put YouTube in the A tier because I was gonna make a big point about none of them make A tier when I was thinking about this video, but I was like, actually, no. Let me tell you right now why YouTube has no major downside. Okay? Because yes, they just did a price hike, and that's something that I wanted to get into in this video, but there's not much to say. Yeah, they hiked the price if you're paying for YouTube, which I don't pay for YouTube. You don't pay for YouTube? Why are you paying for YouTube? Why? Why are you paying for YouTube? Don't you understand that this is owned by Google? They don't need to be making all this money on YouTube. They have the ad infrastructure. Okay? Yes, there is a downside to YouTube, but I would actually admit now that it's not a major downside. The ads on YouTube have gotten worse. They are putting hour-long ads onto hour-long videos that if you're trying to fall asleep listening to somebody else in the world that says things that you need to hear, that validates the way that you're feeling right now, like if you're trying to listen to Benedictine's The Truth or Millennial Steam, it might toss you an hour-long ad while you try to fall asleep to somebody saying something that you want to listen to so that you have a moment in your day where you're like, haha. So I'm not the only person who feels as though the world is messed up right now. I don't know if you don't use YouTube like that, then fine. Like, another example is just like real life lore. I like to fall asleep listening to real life lore. When he drops a video, like, I'll watch the first 5 minutes and be like, okay, show me the map, show me where the conflict is. Okay, now I'll just listen, because I don't need the stock footage for 45 minutes on real life lore. I'll just fall asleep and be like, oh, Argentina's gonna do a thing. Like, great, whatever. But, that's the downside is the ads can be debilitating. Sometimes they'll just come at you with a single ad that you can skip after 5 seconds, or a single 30-second ad that you might not even feel like you need to skip. Often it will be 2 ads in a row. Sometimes the ads are only at the beginning of the video. Sometimes you look out and the ads are only at the end. Sometimes they're in the middle. Sometimes you can't skip them. And yeah, sometimes they're an hour long. And those are downsides. Those are downsides. But here's the thing. I would not want to see an internet where YouTubers can't make a living. And that's why actually the ads are important. The ads are important. The YouTube Premium price hike, hopefully, I doubt it, but hopefully that money does actually funnel into some of the creators on here. I want YouTube to actually be a source of income for the people that come and put content on here, because YouTube is the best content on the internet. It's a lot better than TikTok, okay? And if you really want the scroll endlessly content, there is YouTube Shorts. And I would argue that it's a lot better than TikTok. You can agree or disagree, but there's no infrastructural reason why you can't make the same content. Like if you're doing TikTok right now, you should be also doing YouTube Shorts. You could say the same thing, like I should be doing TikTok, but the thing is I don't do short form content. Like you see right now, we're past the 30-minute mark. Can I even put this on TikTok? If I could, would I even want to? Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. But like the thing is, TikTok has restrictions on what you can do. YouTube has very minimal restrictions. The restrictions are, don't be so controversial that they want to demonetize you, right? And that's something that concerns me. But honestly, after the Elsa Gate stuff, with the reality being that there's so much disinformation on the internet, and that kids use YouTube, I can understand that. Like, yeah, I don't want people getting demonetized because they said fuck, because they're making a whole cash cow out of AVGN. James Rolfe and Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, who've been saying fuck in their every 30 seconds of their content for what, 20 years now? So that's not fair. But yeah, does YouTube make daily life better without a major downside? Actually, yes. Actually, yes, because like I would go crazy without YouTube. Without the ability to express myself like I'm doing now about any topic I want, and no, like I've been very happy lately knowing that I passed 200 subscribers, which isn't a lot, but I haven't really been doing this much, but I've been happy to know that I can do a video collab with the YouTuber that I like. That I'll say to someone, hey, do you want to do a video together? And people are like, yeah, let's do a video together, because just creating the content is more important to people on YouTube than being like ew, no, you're just a 200 subscriber. No, people aren't like that. I mean, yeah, if you want to like hit up somebody that's like big on YouTube, then they're gonna ignore you. But the good YouTubers right now are the people with under 100,000 subs, under 50,000 subs, under 10,000 subs. These are the people that you want to be collaborating with YouTube on right now. Like, I joined a server recently after I've been watching Loon. Loon is a cool YouTuber who's got very few subscribers, but she just opened a Discord server, and I go to this Discord server, and the established community that was born out of a YouTube channel, and it's like, hey, the people here are some of the chillest people I've seen on the internet. Yeah, you might stumble upon a really bad Discord community, like yeah, I won't even say it, but a different YouTuber, and that sucks. But obviously that's a Discord thing, that's not a YouTube thing. YouTube is the best thing that we have in the world right now, because without it, guys, I don't think I could keep doing this if YouTube didn't exist. Like the isolation that I've experienced by moving to Japan and having to learn a new language here, like on top of Japanese people really not messing with each other, let alone foreigners who aren't fluent. Like, I have to be perfectly real with you right now. Like, YouTube is keeping me alive. I know I also did a video collab with Howard Bloom last year, and he said something similar. He was like, when I was basically bedridden for so many years, I think it was like 15 years, like damn. He said, the internet saved my life because it was the only way for me to communicate with people around the world that weren't in my building. And that's true. That's still true to this day. And the best way to communicate with people, like, yes, Discord is great if you want to chat with people, but the problem is Discord exposes you to people that are not your friends. And another thing I want to say about YouTube is the comment sections have actually, there used to be the thing back in the day, back before YouTube was big on ads, like, we're talking like 2007, 2010, YouTube comments were literally the scum of the internet. The gutter of the universe was YouTube comments. But that's not the case anymore. Like, YouTube comments have gotten the craziest glow up, and it's weird because I don't think it's necessarily because YouTube has filtered a lot of comments. It does filter certain comments, but I don't get a lot of comments on my videos, but when I do, they're pretty much always thoughtful. They're pretty much always like, hey, I appreciate that you made this video. I really needed somebody to make this content right now because I feel alone too, and you're saying the things that I think and I don't say to anybody because nobody else says the way that I do except for on YouTube. And I get those comments and I'm like, wow. Or somebody will be like, hey, your music is really awesome. I don't get comments like that on other social media platforms. Like if I post music on Discord, one person might comment on it, but if I post my music on YouTube, I can get 10 people commenting on it. Like I did a thing 2 years ago where I was just playing guitar, just improvising, and I got like 50 comments being like, oh, you're beautiful and smart. Like, wow, this is really good. Like thanks. Like, oh, a whole bunch of people, and I had like 300 views or something. I can't do that on any other social media website because YouTube is the only thing that I know that some people talk about there being like shadow bans on YouTube. I don't doubt that there is shadow banning on YouTube, but I haven't been shadow banned here yet. And I am probably I don't know if I'm shadow banned on Twitter or Facebook, but the algorithms have decided that, you know, the companies and the algorithms have decided that if you're not paying for the service on Twitter or if with Facebook, it's not that I've been shadow banned. They just kind of said, okay, so you don't want dick pics, then I don't know, we don't have anything else to give you. Like 1,000 men messaging you every month to send you marriage proposals, and if you don't want that, then what else can we offer you? So they stopped putting my content in front of people that aren't, you know, that haven't specifically clicked on my profile. So I don't know if you would call that shadow banning. And I don't know if I am still like, you know, suppressed anywhere, but there was a time that I was suppressed on Twitter. There was a time before, like in 2019, I was suppressed on Facebook. Like certain times when these websites do just kind of say like, we don't want your kind here, we don't want your content here. And I know that YouTube probably does that, but the thing is, it doesn't matter because you don't need to. YouTube is like the one thing that people will share with their friends. If they like something, they will be like, you should check out this YouTuber. Like all my Discord servers where people are, you know, sharing content, they're like I like this YouTuber, you should watch this YouTuber. It's like, oh yeah, I like that YouTuber. People have told me like, oh, I'm gonna share your content with other people on that you post on YouTube. Nobody's ever been like, oh, thank you for sharing this other content with me that's not on YouTube. People only share YouTube content, it feels like. And I don't know if that's just the power, the elegance of the platform, or people are just more willing to share and click on YouTube content, but it is what it is. YouTube is like the last lifeline we have to an internet that's worth using. I mean, yeah, Discord is good, Messenger and Skype are functional, but the rest of these are ghost towns or full of assholes and bots. And I think that this tier list has kind of shown that. And I'm going to finally do the last one on this list. Obviously, Vine when it existed was no YouTube, but it was what TikTok wanted to be. Vine was the good TikTok, and we miss it. Bring back Vine, and I will probably be on there Vining, okay? I don't have much more to say about it, because Vine didn't do any of the ridiculous brain rot stuff. It was just funny videos in the short form content, like short form format. It's hard to say. There's not much more to say about it, but yeah, Vine. I see you, Vine. That's gonna be it for this list. And remember, like, I don't know if we individually have anything that we can do to prevent the further intensification of the internet, but YouTube is the last. YouTube and Discord are like the last line of defense for the internet going completely dark and becoming nothing but like AI scum content, brain rot, and just reposts of like, if you want to talk to people, you use Discord. If you want to express yourself, you use YouTube. And there's really nothing else. I don't know if there's other social media that isn't on this list that I should talk about. Like, I will put all dating apps in the fuck this category because they are hookup apps that, you know, favor 5% of people. We all know that those aren't really for the average person. And I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Like, I don't know. I like using Bandcamp. I don't know if that's a social media. It's purely just content. You don't comment on the content, you just either purchase it or share it. If I were to put Bandcamp on this list, I would put it in the A tier. I would put it right here. This is where Bandcamp would go. And if I was gonna rate Patreon, I would put Patreon equally right next to it. And yeah, maybe find me on Patreon. I'm not even gonna put my Patreon in the link here. You can find it on all my other videos or my YouTube channel. It's probably right there. But check out my other content because yeah, I make content, right? Anyway, this video is over. Watch me drink this water. Just, you're here. Watch me drink this water. This is glass. This is not plastic. Microplastics are real. Like, get one of these. Get a glass drinking bottle because, like, the prospect of one day not having a smartphone's worth of plastic inside of me keeps me getting up in the morning. I'm sorry. Well, thank you, YouTube. Bye. That's the video. I'm clicking off now. Bye-bye. Wait, I have to click off twice because literally there's the screen recording and the video recording. So I'm glad that I could do both at the same time. I was worried for a second there that I wouldn't be able to do this video. But looks like we got it. Bye!